Did you know that podcasting allows you to step into a completely different version of yourself? That's right. Making a decision to step into the role of a podcaster is going to forever alter the path that you're on for communicating, networking, relationship building, growing your business, and most importantly, growing as a human being. When you're able to step into a different version of yourself, you show up in a completely different way to the world. When you're having conversations with people, they see and feel that process. If that doesn't get you going and get you fired up, I don't know what will. So does podcasting allow you to step into a different version of yourself? I'd say so. All this stuff sounds great, Sebastian. Of course, I want to become a better version of myself. But how? Here's a couple tactical things that you can do today in order to start that process. Number one, you got to start a podcast. With no podcast, anything I'm telling you before that is null and void, because a podcast is the vehicle to be able to step in to that different version of yourself. The second technique is believing that you can step in to a different version of yourself. Creating a mindset in your head, knowing that I have everything I need in order to step into this different version of myself as a podcaster. So starting a podcast, you've got two options to make that a reality. If you're a do-it-yourselfer, there's plenty of information available on the internet. You can read a book, you can watch a YouTube video, a blog post, you can listen to other podcasts, get inspiration from other stuff that may be out there, and create something that's your own. But first things first, figure out why you're starting a podcast. Getting clear on why you're starting a podcast or anything that you're really intentional about in life or business is so important. Figuring out why you want to start a podcast, number one. Number two, what are you going to call the podcast? And then from there, it's just tactical things like recording an intro and an outro. Where's the podcast going to be hosted? How do I get it into Apple and Spotify and the other distribution platforms out there? All of those things are easily achievable by yourself if you're a do-it-yourselfer with the resources that are available out there today. The other alternative, hire a professional. Someone that can streamline the entire process and help you go from idea to iTunes in a reasonable time frame when taking out all the guesswork. Working with a professional also gives you the opportunity to leverage their expertise, ideas, strategy concepts, and streamline, again, that whole process of, I want to start a podcast, I just don't know where to start. I want to start a podcast, but I don't even know what I would call it. I want to record a podcast episode, but where in the world would I put that podcast episode? A true professional will be able to solve all of those problems for you and help you with all of the heavy lifting that it does take to start a podcast. Now, I don't want to sugarcoat things and say that doing a podcast on your own is the easiest task. There are a lot of steps in that process. Hiring a professional can really ease the pain of all of the logistics that it takes in order to start a podcast. So as you can see from this Podcasting Can Change Your Life series, there's so much more to the podcasting game than just recording episodes. There's so much opportunity available when you make that decision to become a podcaster, when you make that decision to step into the role of a podcaster. So much is available above and beyond just recording a podcast episode. So what are you waiting for?